Days before Rockstar shows GTA 6 to the world on their own terms, somebody else showed it first. The entire map, playable gameplay, systems nobody was supposed to see yet, all of it dumped online by a hacker group right before the official Netflix reveal. This is the biggest GTA leak since 2022, and this time the footage is from an actual working build of the game. Rockstar is firing off takedowns as fast as they can. Reports say billions were briefly wiped off Take-Two's market value, and the clips are still spreading. So let's do this properly. I'm going to walk you through everything that's actually in this leak, beat by beat, and I'm going to keep two things separate the whole way. What the footage actually shows and what it means, because the graphics are not the story here. The systems are. And one of them quietly turns GTA into something a lot closer to Red Dead than anyone expected. Let's start with who did this. Here's what's confirmed. A group calling itself Cyberleek says it breached a working GTA 6 build. Starting around August 18th, they posted a batch of gameplay clips and full images of the map. In one of the videos, the player literally shoots the word leak into a wall in bullet holes, which is about as loud a signature as you can leave. And this isn't a clean whistleblower situation. The group attached a cryptocurrency meme coin to the whole thing and published a manifesto going after Rockstar over all digital releases, removing content people paid for, and the lack of a physical disc for GTA 6. So there's an agenda stapled to this leak, and you should keep that in mind. If this feels familiar, it should. Back in 2022, a hacker dumped around 90 videos of an early GTA 6 build, and it became the biggest leak in gaming history. This is the sequel to that nightmare for Rockstar. The difference this time is that the footage is far more complete. In 2022, we were squinting at gray boxes and placeholder art. Here we're watching something that actually looks and plays like a real game. Now here's what it means, and this is the part that gives it weight. Take-Two started issuing takedowns almost immediately, and you don't spend legal effort scrubbing fake footage. That reaction is the strongest signal that this is genuine. But there's a catch that matters for everything we're about to look at. People tracking the game closely believe this footage comes from an older build, likely around 2023. So it's real, but it's not final. Hold that thought, because it changes how you should read every single clip. The biggest single piece of this leak is the map, the complete state of Leonida, start to finish. And what's shown lines up almost perfectly with the fan-made map the community has been piecing together from trailers for over a year. In the leak, Leonida is split into 5 counties: Lummox, Kelly, Leonard, Visedale, and Mariana. And there are new spots on here we hadn't pinned down before, places like Dalton Island, Gloriana Key, and Catalan Key out in the water. So what does that actually mean for you? Two things. First, the fact that a year of community detective work basically nailed the layout tells you how much of this game has been consistent for a long time. This is not a map still being redrawn. Second, all those keys and islands confirm the water is a real part of Leonida, not just a border. That's a lot of coastline, a lot of boats, and a lot of map that isn't city. And 5 counties tells you something about how this world is built. GTA 5 gave you 1 city and its outskirts. Leonida is a whole state carved into regions, each one presumably with its own feel, its own economy, its own kind of trouble. That's less one big playground and more a slice of an entire coastline you're meant to actually live in. But a map is just a stage. What matters is what the game does to you when you're on it. And that's where this leak gets really interesting. Okay, this is the one that got everybody talking. The wanted meter in the leaked footage goes up to 6 stars. GTA 5 capped out at 5. So Rockstar added a whole new tier of you are in serious trouble. But the star count is not the real upgrade. The real upgrade is how the police find you. In the leak, the cops identify you by specific things: your clothing, your face and hair, and your vehicle. Sit with what that implies. If the police are tracking your outfit and your car, then losing them becomes a real decision instead of just outrunning a dot on a map. Change your shirt, swap your vehicle, and you can actually break the identification and cool the heat off. That is a systemic manhunt, closer to how being hunted works in Red Dead than the old GTA chase, where you just hide in an alley and wait. Red Dead did a version of this with bounties and witnesses, where covering your face changed how the law reacted to you. Dropping that idea into a modern city with cameras everywhere and a described getaway car is a whole different way to be chased. You are not just faster than the cops anymore. You have to become a different person. So the confirmed part is the 6 stars. The meaningful part is that the police now have eyes and memory. And speaking of the game watching what you do, the next system is the one I did not see coming. This is the detail that quietly changes what kind of game GTA 6 is. In one of the clips, the player attacks an enemy who is already down, unconscious, out of the fight. And the moment that happens, a small devil icon with a minus sign pops up on screen. Here's what's confirmed. The game is watching how you treat people and it flagged that specific act. Now here's the part that shows how careful this system is. It didn't punish the fight itself. It punished hitting someone who was already helpless. It's reacting to senseless, one-sided violence, not to a fair scrap. And that distinction is the whole ballgame. A dumb system would just punish violence and make a crime game feel like it's scolding you for playing it. This one seems to read context, the difference between a shootout and an execution. That is a level of nuance this series has never had. If you've played Red Dead Redemption 2, you know exactly where this is going. That's an honor system, a running moral scorecard that reacts to who you are, not just what missions you finish. For a series that has always been about being as chaotic as you want with no consequences, a game that keeps a tally on your cruelty is a real philosophical shift. Whether that ties into the story, the police, or how NPCs treat you, we don't know yet. But the fact that it exists at all is huge. And it's not the only Red Dead style layer hiding in these clips. Once you start looking for depth in this footage, it's everywhere. In the leaked fistfights, there's a stamina meter that drains as you swing. And it drains faster when you're carrying heavy weapons, so your loadout physically weighs you down. Get in a car and there are fuel and engine gauges. Your vehicle is a system now, not just a fast object. And then there's the one that confirms where this is all heading. An activity in the leak, playing basketball, grants a stat boost, something like a +2% to focus. So what does that add up to? An RPG, stats you build by doing things, gear that changes how your body performs, vehicles you have to actually manage. This is the RDR2 and modern RPG playbook bolted onto a GTA game. The old formula was arcade chaos. What the leak shows is a simulation with real systems underneath it. None of these are flashy on their own. A stamina bar, a fuel gauge, a small stat bump for shooting hoops. But stack them together and the picture is unmistakable. Rockstar is building a world with rules your character lives inside, not just a bigger sandbox to blow up. Now, all of that is mechanics, but you're probably here for 2 specific people. So let's talk about the Jason and Lucia clips. Between the systems, the leak gives us small, human glimpses of our 2 leads. There's a boat cutscene with Jason just kicking back with a beer. There's a waterside home with gym equipment out on the balcony, the kind of lived-in detail Rockstar loves. And then there's a woman, almost certainly Lucia, and her clip is the opposite of relaxed. She steals a car, she's fleeing the police, and she's firing from a rooftop. In a few seconds, you get the whole dynamic of this couple. One of them at rest, one of them mid-crime. Now, I want to be careful here because this is where it's easiest to overread. These are short, out-of-context clips from an old build. We can't build a plot out of a beer and a rooftop, but what they confirm is tone. The quiet domestic moments sitting right next to the violence is exactly the Bonnie and Clyde texture the trailers promised. It's real, and it's in the game. Which brings us to the only verdict that actually matters here. So here's my honest read, and it comes down to holding 2 things separately. Thing 1, this is early, pre-release footage from an old build. The lighting, the textures, the polish, none of that is final. If you go online and see people dunking on how GTA 6 looks based on these clips, ignore them completely. You are judging a car by a photo of the factory floor. Thing 2, and this is the actual headline. The systems are the story. A 6-star manhunt where the police track your face and your car. A karma system that watches your cruelty, stamina and fuel meters, and RPG stats you build just by living in the world. Put those together and you're looking at GTA fused with Red Dead level depth. That is a genuine leap for this series, and we're seeing it years of polish early. And think about why that even matters. A trailer sells you a fantasy, the best 5 seconds the marketing team could cut together. Leaked systems show you the skeleton, the actual rules the designers committed to years ago and quietly kept. The skeleton here is more ambitious than the marketing has even leaned on yet. So don't let a leaker steal the moment from you by making you argue about pixels. The graphics will look incredible when it's done. What this leak actually revealed is that the game underneath is deeper than anyone expected. And the timing here is wild, because Rockstar answers all of this on their own terms in just a few days. Grand Theft Auto 6, an extended look, premieres on Netflix on August 27th, with the rest of us getting it on YouTube 6 hours later. This is the first real official gameplay showcase, the clean version of everything we just squinted at in leaked clips. I'm breaking that reveal down the moment it drops, frame by frame, the confirmed version against everything this leak showed us. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And then, right after, we finish the series that started all of this. The big one, how it actually ends for Jason and Lucia. As always, I'll see you on the pier.